I improved my drawing proportions from this to this by fixing these 7 mistakes, and in this video I'll be showing you how you can do the same. And stick around because I'll be giving 2 bonus tips at the end of this video that you can use to easily identify any proportion mistakes in your drawings. Alright, let's go. Number 1, the first really common mistake is to misline the corner of the eyes. Although this happens occasionally in the front view, it's most common when the head is tilted. You always want to make sure that if you draw a line connecting the 2 corners of the eyes, they should match up with the nose line, jawline and hairline. This means that your character can have a coherent look without having wonky eyes, and it can make a huge difference. So let's apply this first tip to my drawing. If we look at the nose line, the hairline and the jawline, we can see that they all have this angle here. But then if I connect the corners of the eyes, oh no, it's different. So with the lasso tool, I can select this and move it right around here. Much better. Now when we connect the lines again, it's all good. Awesome. On to number 2. This mistake is one that usually goes unnoticed and can be a secret killer as to why your art doesn't look right, but you don't know why. This mistake that I'm talking about is not having the correct spacing between the facial features in terms of their height. On a front-facing face, you are usually going for equal distance between the hairline, brow line, nose line and chin line, with the mouth halfway in between the bottom of the nose and the chin. When this gets difficult though is when the face is in perspective, because if the head is tilted up or down, it changes the distances of the different parts from the viewer's angle. So what you need to remember is that when the face is tilting up, the distance between the closer parts, so the chin and nose, increases, while the distance between the now further away parts, like the hairline and the brow line, decreases. This is of course opposite when the face is tilting down. And once again, let's make these changes to our character. So as the face is slightly tilted upwards, I'm going to move the mouth up to around here to increase that spacing with the jaw, and the eyebrows also down to around here, so that it's more in the middle of the nose line and the hairline. And a cool trick if you're not sure where the middle is when you're drawing something in perspective, then just draw a plane in that perspective and make an X from the corners, then you can find the center. So these improvements are looking really good already with just a few changes, and it will get even better as we go through these next ones. So the third mistake I found in my old art was making the ears too small. I'm guessing I did this because I didn't think of the ears as a significant facial feature, so I just made them really small, or even forgot about them completely. Instead, a good guideline for the height of the ears that I like to use is that they go up to the brow line and as low as the nose line. This way your ears can be proportional to the rest of the face. Once again, this doesn't always work though. When the face is tilted up, instead I like to use a curved line that wraps around the face to mark where the ears are when the head is tilted. This way the ears will naturally go lower down when the head is tilted up, and higher up when the head is tilted down. So let's fix it. Right now the ears are way too high as the tops go above the brow line. So I can move it down to the brow line like this. There's still one issue though. The bottom of the ear only goes to about the middle of the nose. So I'm just going to extend this down to where the bottom of the nose line wraps around to. Perfect. Now the fourth mistake is getting the perspective of the eyes wrong when they're in a side profile. It's really common to just draw them normally like nothing has happened, but you need to remember that the eyes are tapered like an almond. This means that when you go into the side profile view, one half of it gets cut off and all you can see is this triangle shape that I always try to remember when drawing from this view. So once again, let's make this change to the character. Right now there's no idea of perspective on this eye, so let's fix that. What I'm going to do is just bring it in with a bit of a taper on this side so the eyes curve away from the viewer's sight. I'm not doing a total triangle here because the face isn't fully side on, but I'm just going in that direction. So there you go, much better. The fifth and final mistake is not making the hair and head the right size. Either too big or too small, although in my opinion it's better to go too big with the hair than too small. It's still best to just get it right though. So always make sure you can imagine the head curving round with enough space for the hair on top. It's hard to say an exact guideline, but just draw a circle curving round so that it looks right. This is really just something that you get a feel of after doing it enough times. Make sure to account for how the head goes back if it's not in a front view. It should curve out and round back in as it comes down into the neck. You can always use reference or a 3D model to check if you got it accurate and help with these proportions. This applies to this tip but also for all of them. Like I said at the beginning, I would be giving 2 bonus tips which you can use to spot any proportion mistakes in your art. The first thing you can do is flip the canvas. This works differently in different software, but if you don't know how to do this, then just search it up for your specific drawing app. And if you're drawing traditionally, well, then unlucky. There are ways to do it, but I think it's a lot of effort. When you first do it, or you haven't done it in a while, it can be shocking how different it looks with the canvas flipped. Now you can use Liquify and the lasso tool to correct all these blatantly obvious mistakes, with a fresh perspective that you didn't notice before, because your eyes had just adjusted from looking at it for too long. So then the second tip to find proportion mistakes is a simple one, and that's just zooming out or taking a step back if you're drawing traditionally. This way you can see the larger shapes and look at their positioning as a whole in relation to each other. The bonus tip is to take like 20 steps back and just walk away from the artwork for like a day or so to completely reset as well if you need. And then when you come back, you can see the things you missed before. And that's it. I hope these tips help you as much as they helped me.